Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Invitation to Puzzles, the series where we help you discover all the wonderful things that puzzles can be. We've recently been doing these giant puzzles, the two super Sudokuoid puzzles, on the channel, which have been getting a lot of people into Sudoku type puzzles. So we're going to do some more of those. But now these are sort of standalone puzzles we're going to do. And we're also going to go back to our usual rotation of pencil puzzles in there because I try to take puzzle basically as broadly as I can when doing these. All right, what we have here is a standard Thermo Sudoku. So in every row, column, box, we need to put the digits 1 through 9 exactly once. They can't share cells or anything like that. And along these thermometers, the smallest digit on the thermometer has to go in what we call the bulb. And then as we go up the thermometer, the number has to get strictly larger. So I don't know if the strictly is even relevant in this puzzle. But importantly, you can never have a 3 going into a 3 on a regular thermo. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So one thing about thermo puzzles that you should typically look at is what cells can possibly have the digit 1 or the digit 9. So the only cells that can possibly have the digit 1 in them are bulbs, or of course cells that aren't on a thermo at all. So if I just highlight these, I don't know if this is going to be helpful, by the way. I'm just what I noticed. We know the 1 in every row, column, and box has to be in one of these cells. Okay, that wasn't so helpful. But if it works for 1s, it works equally well for 9s, where if we're talking about where a 9 can go, it can only go in the tip of the thermo. Like that. Oh, sorry, and over here, of course. And that does at least tell me that the 9 in box 5 is vertically in one of these two cells, which is admittedly not the largest deduction that humankind has ever seen. So, don't think I can quite do that. Okay, so what else can we look at here? We could certainly mark all of these thermos, but that seems unlikely to me to be super useful unless there's some cell where some like row, column, or box where there's a lot of cells that have to be large. I don't think there is necessarily. I don't think this is set, although it's possible. If I like highlight these cells, they do look kind of interesting as cells go. Okay, do I have only one length 5 thermo in the entire puzzle? That's maybe worth marking. So the way to sort of think about what cells, what values can actually be in a thermo is to mark the lowest every cell can possibly be starting at the bottom, and then mark the highest it can be starting at the top, going down, and then fill in the middle digits. Now, of course, in this case, that's just like basically putting these strings of 5 consecutive digits in each of them. What I said works regardless of whether there's digits filled in or anything like that, so that you could utilize those kinds of things. Okay, so like A thing I'm noticing within this box is if I just ask where 1 and 2 go in this box, because none of these can be 1 and 2, this is the 4th cell along, so it can't be 1 or 2. This is the 3rd cell along. The 1 is locked into these cells, and the 2 is locked into these cells. So that is somewhat interesting. So like in this box, the 1 and 2 are okay. So I'm gonna change my coloring scheme, and I'm gonna color cells that can't be 1 or 2, and just see if that unveils anything for me. So I'm being quite naive about this for the moment, at least. Okay, let's see. So I reserve the right to be less naive about it. But I'm currently just marking everything that is at least 3 spaces along a thermo as that it cannot possibly be 1 or 2. And then seeing if I learn anything. I'm not super confident I'm going to learn something, but I'm not super confident I'm not going to learn anything, so who knows? Could go either way. Okay, that seems to be all the cells that at least thinking about this from this point of view. Oh, sorry, this one was oranged when it wasn't supposed to be oranged. Hopefully there aren't any other cells that were oranged when they weren't supposed to be oranged. I'm just looking for rows or columns that have a particularly large amount of orange in them. And I'm not really seeing any, is the unfortunate part. Like even something like ruling out like 5 would be an interesting digit, because if this is 5, then it has to go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not even obvious to me that that breaks for some reason. You would make these 1, 2, 3, 4, of course, but I'm debating in my head. I'm mentally imagining what it would look like if I colored cells that can't be 1, 2, or 3, and I don't think it's much better, unfortunately. So I'm not sure that this is a great choice either. Actually, it's kind of interesting. Like if I look at the center band, it's actually a little bit interesting in these 2 rows. It's like here, 1 of 1 and 2. I guess, sorry, these could be a 1, 2 pair. Otherwise, I need a 1 and 2 in this row. Likewise, here, I've got to get a 1 and a 2. And I don't have that much space. Sort of feels to me like the deduction I'm trying to make is that somehow I can't put 1 and 2 in this area, or that I have to put 1 and 2 in this area. Either of those deductions would be great, but that doesn't currently feel like it tells me anything. I'm trying to see if there's any place where, like, if I put a 2, it's going to break the box up here. So, like, if I put a 2 here... Actually, it's here. I can't make... This cell can't be 2. Because if this cell is 2, then that cell's 1. And then that makes these 2 cells not 1 or 2, which makes these 2 cells a 1, 2 pair with a 1 there and a 2 there, but that just doesn't work. So there's some, like, 2 can only go here if 1 goes here, and that sort of clashes with 2 going here. So this cell can't be 1 or 2 is actually what I'm saying. Because if this were 2, 1, now I'd have to put a 2 here and a 1 there, and that just doesn't work. So this cell can't be 1 or 2, which feels like the tiniest possible deduction, but maybe I can leverage it somehow to be useful. It feels like it's connected to this structure over here. By which I mean that the fact that that deduction worked, I think, has something to do with this. That may not generalize super well. Okay, I don't think this is presently useful. I think I might be supposed to ask something like, where do these 3 digits go in this box? And I think this is connected, but I think it's probably going to be more clear, because naively, this number is at least 1 and at most 6. And so similarly, that. However, if this digit is 3, then of course this goes 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be a problem when it comes to where 1, 2, and 3 are going in this box. Because if these are 1, 2, 3, then these numbers are bigger than that. So these numbers are all bigger than 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to have to put 1, 2, and 3 across the bottom here, because the blues are going to look across here. And that's definitely not going to work, because I'm going to have to put 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here, which has the horrible consequence of what it does up here. So this digit's definitely not 3, which means this digit's definitely not 4, because it has to be bigger than that. And I think I'm trying to reproduce that kind of idea, but I'm not sure exactly how to generalize it. Unfortunately. Like, I don't think even this being 2 and 1 is necessarily a problem unless I'm missing something here. And like, of course, anytime I say something about 1, 2, 3, we could try and say the same thing about 7, 8, 9, and notice that like 7, 8, 9 are restricted to these cells, with 8 and 9 being increasingly more restricted as it goes along. But I don't think that does anything. I do see I have an X-Wing on 1s that I missed before. But I don't think it's a useful X-Wing, because I think it's an X-Wing in both directions. But all I mean by that is that the 1 in this row is in one of these 2 cells, and the 1 in this row is in one of these 2 cells. Let me highlight those. Give up on that for a second. So we basically either both of these are 1s or both of these are 1s. And I'm curious if that's somehow telling me something about 2s. So, of course, if these are 1s, then that's the 1 up here. Like in this column, that column, we have what's called a finned X-Wing, but I don't think that's possibly in any universe going to be useful. Okay, is it possible there's an X-Wing on 9s that is like this but useful? Let me attempt to scan for that. So like one of those two and those is a 9. Ah, there we go. Okay, so here I think is the thing I'm actually supposed to see. In row 2, one of these two is a 9. And in row 8, one of these two is a... Oh, crap. No, that's not true. Sorry, that one could be. This is a stupid finned X-Wing again, isn't it? Well, that's unfortunate. Let's see. In this row, it's these. This row, it's these. So this is a skyscraper? I think that's right. Yeah, in that row, we get that. In this row, we get this. And so the thing to notice here, if I color this, if I color these purple instead, so these are the, this isn't quite true. No, this isn't even quite a skyscraper because the 9s could be here. So yeah, I need more for this to be a skyscraper. Which thankfully I don't have to explain because it's not a skyscraper. There's a column somewhere. Oh, wait. Oh, Lord. It's better. In this column, there's only one place for 9, right? How did I miss this when I colored it before? I was looking for this exact deduction and I didn't notice. Yeah, in this column, the only place that 9 can go is this one. So that digit's a 9. And we won't talk about how long that took to find. Okay, so now I'm going to color can't be 9. And we're going to try to play, we're going to try and play some 9s. So these are all can't be 9. Of course, nothing in the box with a 9 can be a 9. Nothing that is partway along a thermo can be 9. Wow, I did a terrible job at looking at this when I looked at the 9s before, because one of these two, maybe I should have colored can't be 9 instead of can be 9. It makes this sort of thing easier to see. One of these two is 9, so none of those are. Let's see, all of those are partially along. These are partially along. That one is partially along a thermo. This one is partially along a thermo. So is that one, so is that one, so is that one. Right, these are all automatically can't be 9. That one I did notice when I highlighted it before, but I did not properly use, perhaps. Okay, these are certainly not 9. So now the 9 in this column is now placed, is going to be the point. These are all not 9. Okay, so the 9 in this column now is here. Okay, I can't believe I asked the right question and then somehow failed to actually observe it. So I'm just chasing these 9s now as I do this, because once I place a 9, then I'm going to get 9s in assorted boxes. So I'm just sort of doing one box at a time here. So now that's a 9. And so now that isn't. So that is. This one isn't. So now we've got just a little tiny collection of places where 9 can be. for the rest of the 9s. Okay. So I think that's how we were meant to start this puzzle. Let's see. Can I do something similar with 8s? Maybe. Like 8 in row 1, for example, can only go in one of these 2 cells based on where the 9s are. Oh, and probably worth marking that because this isn't 9 anymore, this isn't 8 anymore, this isn't 7 anymore, this isn't 6 anymore, that kind of thing. So yeah, the 8 in this box is in one of these 2 cells. Again, I'm not sure how eager I am to mark that. We might just do a color per digit. Just do this one digit at a time. That can't have helped me with 1s, right? I didn't somehow equally also miss the, like, when I colored the things that can't be 1, right? Okay, I'm gonna color things that can't be 1 real quick. Apologies. But I just want to make sure I didn't miss something very similar with cells that can't be 1. Okay, none of those can be 1. None of these, those, that. These, these, that. Like plus for 8 there. Still not seeing anything with the 1s, but I'm making myself stare at it before I erase it because last time I did this for 9s and then I got too excited and didn't look at it. Like this is really close to being a swordfish on 1s if you want me to say more weird Sudoku terms. I don't know that Blobz wants me to say more weird Sudoku terms. Maybe. It's possible. Okay, but I really don't see anything looking at 1s. Post in the comments if you see the thing and are screaming at the screen right now. Okay, so in that case, I think what I want to highlight is cells that can't be 8. So like this cell can't be 8 because I would need a 9 there, is what I'm looking at. I suppose I should also note all cells that are 9 cannot be 8. But any cell that would put a 9 somewhere that we know there's not a 9 can't be 8. So like those we've already noted, those all can't be 8. These can't be 8. That one can't be 8. Let's see, these can't be 8. None of these can be 8, actually. I think, because all of these would put a 9 somewhere that can't be 9. Yeah, none of those. None of those. Certainly not those. Or those. So, like, the first 2 cells along any thermo certainly can't be 9. In this box... Sorry, that could be 8 with that being 9. So those can't be 8, but we could have an 8-9 pair here, or we could go 8-9 in one of those places. Yeah, here we know that that digit's not 9, so we can go all the way up here. Likewise here, oops, we know that that digit can't be 9, so these can't be 8. Likewise over here. Here we end up like this. This one I can yellow as well, because that one can't be 9. So in this row, the 8 is over here. That's right. I'm just double checking that that's actually true. Yeah, in this row, the 8 is over here, which does tell me that none of these cells are 8. Okay, so now in this column now, the 8 is in one of these cells, and therefore that cell's not 8. So now in this row, this cell is 8, so these aren't 8. So now in this box, that cell is 8, so this one isn't. Okay, 8, 7, 6, 5 come out because I get to sort of push this down here. In this box, that one's an 8. Just double checking that I haven't screwed up anything. So this one isn't 8, and so therefore this one is. So now that one is. Oh, right, this one isn't. So that 8. So yeah, so now I've got, oh, this one isn't. That's very helpful, because now that makes this an 8, which then makes that a 9, which then places the last 9 in the grid, because remember, we've got all of these 9s in the grid, so that one's a 9. And now I've got all the 9s placed. Yeah, one of these is an... Oh, yeah, one of these is an 8. That's useful, because one of these two is an 8, so that one's not. So this is an 8. So this one isn't. I mean, I guess this one wasn't for lots of reasons. So yeah, then we've got a little bit left that can be sort of summarized as 8 corner marks, so that we can sort of say, okay, we know the remaining 8s are over there. Okay. So I'm trying to do something other than say, now let's think about 7s. But I'm afraid I might have to say, now let's think about 7s. Which sounds pretty horrible, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like there's something, I feel like I'm missing some more fundamental piece of what I'm supposed to be doing here. Okay, well, let's just, for lack of a better thing to do, let's do cells that can't be 7. So the 7 could theoretically go in any of those places. Of course, I guess any cell that's 9 definitionally can't be 7. Any cell that's 8 definitionally can't be 7. Well, there are only 2 digits bigger than 7, and so if we know where they are, then we already sort of know this. Okay, so one of those 2 is 7. These assuredly aren't 7. This one can be 7. That one's certainly not. This one, unfortunately, could be 7. That one's not. Okay, this particular thermo, we know there's an 8 and a 9 sort of looking at that. Let's see. Yeah, that one could... No, sorry, this one can't even be, actually. Because this would need to be an 8 or a 9, and it can't be. So that actually places the 7 in this column here, which rules 7 out of all of these. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that one was allowed to be 7. This one's allowed to be 7, 8. 7, 8 is fine. 7, 8, 9 is fine. 7 can't go there because it would have to go 7, 8. I mean, it just can't be. 7 can't go here even because I'd need a 7, 8, 9 here, and I can't have one. This one, yeah, this one can't be 7. That one can't be 7, or even that one, because this cell can't be 8 or 9. Likewise, in fact, nowhere along this thermo can be 7, because it would need to be right before the 8, and can't be. This one can't be 7, so that places the 7 in this column here. So this is not 7, not 6, not 5. If I look at this, and that lets me yellow out all of those. So that places a 7 up here and a 7 here, I believe. Checking that I have gotten all of this correct. Okay. So there's no 7s there, no 7 in a column with a 7, no 7 in a column with a 7. No 7 in a box with a 7 either, so one of these two is 7. I don't think we quite know which one yet. In this box, that could be 7. Oh, this just has to be 7 in this box, because I can't put the 7 over here. This cell can't be 7, 8, or 9. So the 7 is placed here, which wipes it out of these cells, places a 7 here. Now by Sudoku, that seems to place a 7 there. I don't know why I never got around to yellowing this cell. I guess it's because we sort of got there in the end. Okay, so that's a 7, that's an 8, that's an 8. Sort of filling that in. These aren't 7. That's assuredly not 7, so that one is. Okay, and now we've got all the 7s, 8s, and 9s in the grid. So we probably now can do looking where 6 could possibly be, if nothing else has immediately presented itself. Yes, if you see something here that I have somehow missed, definitely let me know. None of these cells can be 6, because I don't have any 7, 8, 9s available. So basically 6 has to be the furthest down any thermo, because I've placed literally all the 7, 8, 9s. The only place 6 can go is the furthest space down every thermo that's empty. So in this row, that's definitely over here. Let's see. Oh yeah, all of these are already marked as not being able to be 6. One of these two is 6. Oh, this can't be 6. Oh, but in fact, one of these two is 6 in this box, so therefore this one isn't. That one's certainly not 6. Yeah, whereas 6 in this row, it's definitely over here. So these two aren't 6. That did not really enlighten me in the way that I had hoped it might, if I am being completely honest. I did get... Oh! Because I'm blind, I see. This is the only place for 6 in here. I'm not doing great with my scanning today. So therefore that's not a 6, so therefore that is a 6. So therefore those aren't 6. So therefore that's 6. So those two aren't 6. So therefore that's 6, and that's 6, and that's 6. And therefore that's 6, and therefore that's 6, and therefore that's 6. Okay, that's all the 6s in the grid. Okay. I feel like this is probably what we're intended to do. Okay, so we can just repeat this process. And it's getting easier by the digit as long as I actually look closely. Because as long as we're going from the highest to the lowest, now, so for example, in this box, if I look at 5s, well, notice when I made it so that this digit can't be 6 anymore, now this can't be 5, this can't be 4. So the 5 here is definitely vertical. So if I yellow out cells that aren't 5, that means that none of those can be 5. And that actually places the 5 in this box immediately, because now the 5 can only possibly go there. In fact, actually, if you want to think about it, you can also say, where does the 4 in this box go? And it can't go there, because I would need these to be from 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's not enough digits for that to be true. If this were 4, in fact, this would have to go 5, 6, and that just doesn't work for so many reasons. So the 4 in this box actually can only go here. And now this can't actually even be 3 now that we've done this, because if this digit is a 3, then this is going to have to be a 4, 5, or 6, and it can be none of them. So in fact, that's the 3 lurking over there. And so now these two digits are a 1, 2 pair in some order. Okay, we're going to try and do this to the extent we can. Okay, now I will chase the 5, though. These digits, by the way, these are not 5. The 5 in this box just gets placed there, so those are, of course, not 5. These aren't 5. This can't be 5 because there's no digit bigger than it that can go there. This can't be 5 because there's no digits bigger than it that can go in either of those places. So, in fact, that's the 5. That's not going to be 5. That can't be 5 because, again, there's nothing bigger. That can't be 5. None of those are 5 because of the same reason. So the 5 in this row is actually here. Okay, while I'm in this box, I'm going to note this cell can't be 2 anymore, because if this were 2, that would be 1, and this cell would not have a value anymore. So this is at least 3 or 4. Certainly that's not 4 anymore, because that one can't be big enough. Can't be this one, because again, only have 1 digit bigger. Or sorry, we don't have a bigger digit. Okay, the 5 in this box is in one of these two cells, so this isn't a 5. Oh, this 5 just outright looks at these cells, so I don't even have to think about those. Can't be these because of our previous notes, so that's a 5. So that's a 5. So that's a 5. Oh, right, this is in a row with a 5. So yeah, so we've got a little X-wing of 5s, or Zach-wing of 5s, if you prefer to honor our dear penguin mascot. His foot looks a little injured. Oh, I'll take him to the vet later. Poor Zach. He's been dancing a storm. Okay, let's see if we can finish this in some intelligible way. I'm not actually sure that we can. Okay, in row 2, where is 4 is a good question that will sort of help. Because if this were a 4, I would need to dream up a digit bigger than 4. And remember, we've placed all the digits larger than 4, except for 1 5 over here somewhere. So I'm certainly not putting a 4 in either of these cells, which means that this is the only 4. So that's a 3. And that gave me Oh, so these are 1, 2, 3 down here. These are 1, 2, 4 down here. Except this one's not 1 for sure, because of where it is. One of these two is definitely 3. This number is smaller than 4, so this is a 1, 2, 3. Okay, this can't be a 4 for previously stated reasons, so one of these two is a 4 within this box. One of these two is a 4 in this just by Sudoku, even without even further real contemplation about the nature and purpose of reality. So there's a 4 up here somewhere. I don't know where. Does make these being only from 1, 2, 3, because we know they can't be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but they also can't be 4. And this one's second along a Thermo, so it's not a 1. So this one's a 1 or a 2, because it's less than that. And now in this row, we can place the 3. Knocks a 3 out of that cell. This number is larger than 3, so it had better be a 4. Places that 4 back over there. So this is now a 1, 2 by the column. Yeah, one of these is a 3. Yeah, one of these is a 3, and therefore one of these two is a 3. But that one can't be a 3, because if this one is a 3, my 1 and 2 have to go in these two cells, and 1 and 2 are both not bigger than 3. So actually the 3 goes there. And this is another 1, 2 pair. Okay, so this column is missing a 1, 2 pair. And this box was also missing a 1, 2 pair. So this row is actually, this row is more interesting. This row is missing a 3, 4 pair now, because there's a 1, 2 pair in it already. So where does the second 1, 2 go in box 4? It has to go here, which makes that the 5, which then places this 5 up here, based on our previous marks. And now this can't be a 4, because that would have to be a 5, because we've placed all the digits larger than 4. That gets me a 3 and a 4 over there. That gets me a 3 up here. We have another 1, 2 pair. Let's see, this column seems to be missing a 4. That seems to place a 4 here. Let's place a 4 there. Huzzah, everything going well so far. We need a 3 in this row, and it's here. Or alternatively, it's the only place in the column left. Let's see. This column needs a 3, and it had better go here, because 3 is now the biggest digit that we have left. So that is a 3. This is a 1, 2, and now everything is resolved in this grand adventure by this 1 and 2 that we finally have. I don't know how long I had a 1 marked in that cell. Don't tell me in the comments. Okay, so I either did exactly what I was... Oh, I never marked that. I either did exactly what was intended. By the way, ignore the 137 minutes. I did not, in fact, as long as this video is, I did not spend 137 minutes on it, I promise. But let me know if you did something different, because what we did worked once we just sort of agreed we're systematically going to start at 9 and go down. Everything sort of worked itself out as long as I paid close attention. But I'm not sure if there was some more elegant way to start. So let me know if you saw something that was a little bit easier than what I did. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time on Invitation to Puzzles. Bye for now.